How to break bad spending habits, top tips. Excessive spending is a widespread problem among people. It's a habit that seriously undermines family finances, especially the ability to save. If reducing expenses and increasing savings seems difficult, willpower alone cannot bring about change. However, it is hoped that the following strategies will help put an end to this habit and keep debt at bay. Before continuing, dear viewers, if you appreciate the content of this video and are satisfied with it, we invite you to consider the option of subscribing to our channel or supporting us with a donation. Your support is essential for the growth and constant improvement of our channel, and it will allow us to continue producing high-quality content for you. You can do it here below, through the appropriate buttons, subscribe, and thanks. Paying in cash is one of the simplest ways to reduce spending. Many people find it more convenient to use credit or debit cards, especially when traveling. However, giving up hard-earned cash is much more difficult than simply using cards. It's purely psychological. Credit cards make it too easy to spend money. With a single swipe, you can bring home the latest smartphone or a large flat-screen TV. It's very easy to get into debt, but it's difficult to get out of it. Failing to pay monthly installments will not only increase the amount to be paid in the long term but will put you further into debt. It is therefore much better to pay in cash. Cash payment has the following advantages. It's easier to set a budget and stick to it. The cash-only envelope system can also be used to force people to stick to the plan. Since you only put the amount of money you need to spend for the week or month in the envelope, you know when the money is gone and you've finished spending it. Therefore, setting a daily amount of essentials to spend can help save at the end of the day. Knowing why we overspend can be the first step to breaking these bad habits. There are several reasons why we tend to overspend, one of which is that we don't think about the future. We only think about the here and now and not about what tomorrow will bring. We may make impulse purchases or fail to make a realistic budget. It's difficult to resist the temptation to buy on impulse. We all know the importance of making wise financial decisions, but sometimes we're so busy developing good financial habits that we end up overspending. After all, we are human. Some of us are used to spending money when we're bored or tired, while others spend to feel secure. There are those who overspend, neglecting their savings, and those who waste money on things they don't need instead of focusing on more important things. But if you know why you always overspend, you can break this habit. Many people overspend because they have no idea how much money leaves their wallets every day. They may have a rough idea of how much it costs to buy groceries or clothes, but usually that figure is far from reality. By identifying the causes of overspending, it's possible to take action to prevent it, such as setting a budget or reducing shopping time. It takes willpower to say no to what you want at that moment. A good way to motivate yourself to save and reduce spending is to set goals. For example, you see something you want to buy online or in a store. Try waiting until the next payday before purchasing. You could also set bigger goals, like saving for a vacation or buying a new car. This will encourage you to stop spending lightly, and by the end of the month, you might not be as interested in your new designer jeans as you thought you were, and you might have more money in your bank account. Some people are lucky enough to have someone else manage their finances for them and are therefore completely unaware of household finances. But even if they are, they can always make smart choices to take advantage of the situation, especially if there's a change in the family, such as a misfortune, divorce, or bankruptcy. Short-term goals can help change the way you view and use money. Set achievable short-term financial goals and curb bad spending habits. Being independent and having your own money to save and invest will make you feel good. An example of a small financial goal is to reduce weekly outings. Later, you can work on longer-term goals, such as investing in stocks or starting a new business. The more skilled you become with money and the less impulsive, the more you think about the future. It can be difficult to tackle bad spending habits alone. Talk to someone close to you, especially someone strong and supportive who doesn't have overspending tendencies, and ask for help. It could be a friend, family member, or spouse. Be honest and tell them you have a problem spending more money than necessary, that it's an internal issue, that it's an obstacle to your goals, and that you want to change it. Let them know you need their help, even if you don't want to go into details. At this point, what you need is their support. Who knows? Maybe they've experienced the same situation and eventually found a way out. They could be the voice of reason when you want to spend money. You don't have to solve this problem alone. If you don't already have one, open a savings account to make monthly deposits. You need to consider how realistic it is to accumulate each month. Once the money is deposited into the account, don't touch it unless you urgently need it. This way, you can limit the amount of money you have access to, which can help correct bad spending habits. Depositing money in a bank different from your debit card or opening a savings account slows down the speed of access to cash, as you need to manually transfer the money and wait for it to be authorized. This helps curb impulse purchases but still allows you to access the money if needed. If necessary, money can be automatically transferred to this account every month. Developing good spending habits isn't difficult. All it takes is the confidence that you can really reduce expenses. If you're not aware of how much you own and how much you spend, it's easy to spend without restraint. And at that point, you wonder what all those things were for. The best way to eliminate bad spending habits is to set a budget and track expenses. This will help you make tough decisions in advance about what you can or cannot afford. The budgeting process is eye-opening. If they discover that about half of their income is spent on rent, they might be tempted to consider cheaper housing solutions. You too might be surprised at how much you spend on takeout food and your favorite spiced coffee. Once the numbers are clear, it might be easier to reduce expenses than you think. Only by knowing where your money is going can you really take control of your spending. Start recording your monthly expenses. Take your most recent credit and debit card statements and receipts and use them to categorize expenses, groceries, household items, clothing, utilities, etc. If you already have a budget, compare it to your monthly expenses and identify areas where you're spending more than planned. In the end, you'll get in tune with the family budget and be able to change the way you spend money. It has already been proven that impulse purchases and careless shopping are common habits that lead to overspending. Before buying something new, postpone the decision for a day and analyze the new item. Do you really need to buy a new shirt or jacket? Could you borrow the tools you need from your neighbor instead of buying them? Could you find the same thing at a more convenient price elsewhere? These are some of the questions you need to ask yourself before deciding to make a purchase. Reducing the number of items you need, such as clothing, electronics, tools, and toys, can significantly reduce unnecessary spending. Also, when you shop, bring a shopping list with you and get into the habit of only buying items on your list. This way, you can plan your spending and avoid unexpected purchases. A significant amount of money is spent on food, from eating out to groceries. For those looking to make better financial decisions, it would be wise to track food expenses and look for areas where savings can be made. For example, meal planning can help minimize grocery expenses. If possible, formulate a monthly menu with family favorite ingredients and recipes and focus on simple homemade meals using inexpensive ingredients. When you don't feel like cooking, you can get many benefits, such as eating out less than usual. A spending plan has already been set up and the necessary ingredients are sold in large quantities, so waste is reduced. Also, there's no need to rely on expensive ready meals. To break the monotony, you can change ingredients or eat out occasionally. Meal planning not only helps break bad spending habits but also leads to healthier eating habits. In any case, these strategies demonstrate that breaking bad spending habits is not impossible. With a little willpower, self-control, and determination, it's possible to overcome them and turn your financial dreams into reality. We would like to know about your experience regarding the topic covered today. Share it with us in the comments, and, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask them. We will gladly respond. Your like would be a source of satisfaction for us, and of course, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming publications.